Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about the Four Agreements. I don't know if you guys have read the book. It's called The Four Agreements, and it's basically just the four agreements of life, like the things that make your life much easier to do. If you live by these four agreements, then your life becomes simpler. It's one of those things where you know the four agreements and you understand them, but then at the same time they're so hard to live by because you kind of forget, like, you want to be honest, you want to be all these good things in your life, but you kind of forget because we're human. So like you have to like keep reminding yourself. It's like the Bible, you have to keep reading it. The first agreement, which is the most important agreement, is be impeccable with your word. When you're impeccable with your word, it means you're without sin. And sin is anything you do or say that goes against yourself. So if you are doing or saying things that go against yourself, or that cause harm unto you, then you're not being impeccable with your word. For example, if you are calling yourself ugly, calling yourself stupid, blaming and judging yourself for mistakes that you've made, you're not being impeccable with your word, because you have to be without sin in your word, and being mean to yourself is you're sinning. The first bit is your word is your power to create. So whatever you say is what will be. We create our own realities using our words. So when we say, my life sucks, then your life is going to be that way. So wherever your mind goes and wherever your words go, that's what you will manifest for yourself. So if you think the world is this big, bad, negative place, then that's what you will manifest and that's what you will see. Your word is also a gift from God, is something that he says. He does like bring the Bible and these agreements together. So not like in such a big way where it's super religious, but he does it from time to time. And then your intent, what you intend for your life and what you intend for your world is what you will manifest through your words. So again, if you're saying negative things and you're paying attention to only negative things, then those negative things will manifest in your life. If you're paying attention to good things and you're spreading love and truth and joy, then those are the things. If you also believe the story that you tell yourself is that the world is a good place where I can thrive, where I can live my best life, then that's what will manifest in your life, because that's what you believe. That is your agreement. So if your agreement is that the world is a dark, terrible place where you cannot exist, where you have no space to exist, where you are not loved, where you're ugly, then that will be your reality. Because as well, there is the push to prove to yourself the things that you believe. So he speaks about that a little bit later in the chapter. But basically, whatever you believe, you do want to prove it to yourself, because this is the story that you've told yourself. So once you've told yourself the story, you want to find a way to prove that it's true. We are the only living beings that have the ability to speak. So that means we have great power over other living beings. So other living beings cannot start a war because of the words that they've spoken. They can't make things up about other people because they hate them and then ruin their lives. Like, words can literally ruin lives. We have that the power of words, and we can use that power for good, to spread love and life throughout the world and the truth, or we can use it to spread lies and evil throughout the world as well. We can use, same with our religions, we can use our religions for good, to spread the word of our God that we believe in, or we can use our religion to tramp and stomp on other religions and make them seem like, make them out to be something ugly that they're not. So you can understand a little bit about someone's religion and then go on and spread hate about their religion to like kind of put a down on it, to make it seem like it's an ugly thing. Or you can spread love, because every single religion obviously has good in it. And then, so again, just back to the stories that we say about yourself. If you believe a story about yourself, for example, if you believe that you are unlovable and undeserving of love, you're going to go ahead and date people, or like get into situationships with people that don't like you, with people that are terrified of commitment, with people that just don't want to be with you because you are making an effort to prove that you are indeed unlovable and undeserving of love and that nobody wants to be with you. And then ultimately, when those people that you're in situationships with don't choose you and they don't love you, then you can be like, you see, I told you, I am indeed unlovable. And then you can go on happy that you've proved this point to yourself. And it's weird because why would you be happy about proving that right? Well, we want to be right. Everybody wants to be right, even if it's at your own cost. And that's when you will know you're not being impeccable with your word, because again, you being impeccable means being without sin, and being without sin means not doing anything or saying anything that goes against yourself. So if you're putting yourself in a position where you're in situationships with people that do not like you or love you, just to prove a point to yourself that you are unlovable, you're not being good to yourself, and so you are not being impeccable with your word. Then after that, you will also judge yourself and be mean to yourself about all the things that you've done. That's not accountability. That is judging yourself and being mean to yourself, and that's not being impeccable with your word. You're not being good to yourself, and so you're not living without sin. You're sinning against yourself because you're judging yourself and being mean to yourself over things that over situations that you've created yourself. So you can take responsibility for your actions without necessarily blaming and judging yourself. Because there's a difference between saying, okay, I really messed up at this place in my life, but this is what I will do to ensure that that doesn't happen again. But if you're going to sit and like call yourself stupid, call yourself ugly, call yourself dumb, all these things, and punish yourself for making mistakes, that's like no longer accountability. It's no longer taking responsibility for your actions. That is now gone into being not being impeccable with your word. So now you are at the point where you are sinning because you're being unkind to yourself. Self-rejection, according to this book, is like the most egregious sin that you could ever commit. It is like in religious terms, it is like a mortal sin. Like it's the worst thing you could ever do to yourself, self-rejection. And self-rejection ultimately will lead to like death and darkness, whereas being impeccable will lead to love, joy, and light and life. So you want to be impeccable with your word, because living that way, you cannot fail. Like when you are impeccable with your word, when you tell the truth, when you spread love and kindness and light, when you do not go out of your way to be horrible to other people, that will lead to a healthier, better life for yourself, as well as the people that are around you. If you spend your time changing the stories that you've told yourself about yourself and believing more positive stories about yourself, you will obviously live a better life. If you spend your time not gossiping and not spreading lies, not spreading hate about other people, your life will improve, because you will have more time to focus on how you can better serve yourself, better serve God, better serve your community, instead of like spending all this time on other people. Because when you're gossiping about other people, you're really stealing time from yourself. Because in order to gossip about other people, you need to be invested in their lives so that you know what you're gossiping about. You need to know when her boyfriend dumped her. You need to know when she did X, Y, Z. Like you need to know about these people's lives. You can't gossip about people you don't know anything about. You can make some stories up, but the best lies are the lies that have a little bit of truth to them, because when people go and like check the stories or check out the gossip, they want to find a little bit of truth mixed in with the lies so that they can believe the story. So in order to do that, you need to be invested in those people's lives. You need to know at least a little bit about them, or even a lot about them, in order to spread hate about them. So you're stealing time from yourself. And then you also have to be careful who you're spending your time with, because we can't always control we can't always control what we hear, and we're living in a world of social media where information just flies at you from all different directions. So you can't always control like what's coming into your ears, but you are actively choosing who you spend your time with. So when you're spending time with people that are also on the mission of spreading joy and light, obviously then your life is better for it. And if you're spending your time with negative Nancy's, of course your life is not going to go great. You're going to be filled with anxiety and you're not going to know why. And it's because you're going to think everybody is gossiping about you the same way that you're gossiping about them. And then the other thing with your word is that so much time now is spent on social media, but then people will spend time on social media, see things, and then be too lazy to go and research what they have heard. So when you hear something, you obviously don't know if it's true or false. And depending on which source it's coming from, you might believe it, you might not believe it. But if you're going to take that information and repeat it to somebody else, it's worth taking a second to do a little bit of research to see where does this come from, is it true and whatnot, and then you can go and repeat it. I think a lot of us are guilty of this, of hearing something from a source that we think is reliable, and then without doing any real research or putting any considerations on their biases on why they said something, we'll just take it as fact and then spread that information elsewhere, and you just roll with it and run with it, and then you tell 5 other people about this thing that you heard, and now it's spreading like wildfire. You don't even know if it's true, and you've added on to that fire, speaking words that you don't know to be true for sure. If someone were to challenge you on the words, whenever you say something as fact, you need to think about, if someone challenged me on this, would I be able to stand on it? Would I be able to back it up and stand on it and say, yeah, that's true. I went and researched from this place, and I read this and this source, and I know it to be fact? Or would you be oh, I think I heard it somewhere. Oh, I think I this and that. So when you are saying things about, whether it's about other people, about life, you need to be able to know that you could back this up if it came down to it. It can be exhausting because it's a lot of work, but you also want to be impeccable with your words. So these are things that are worth doing, especially big things where you're talking about ruining people's lives, or ruining people's images and stuff like that. You want to be sure that what you're saying is true. And then the last 3 things that I want to wrap up with that I've learned from this chapter is that 1, you need to tell the truth. 2, don't speak on things that you haven't done a second of research on. 3, do not aim to hurt others with your words. Sometimes you're going to hurt people with your words. For example, if you don't say someone is a woman and they want to be called a woman, you're going to hurt their feelings. Is the aim to hurt their feelings? No, the aim is to tell the truth. And that is the truth. And so you don't want to go around spreading lies so that people can feel happy. You want to be honest. And if your honesty is causing someone else pain, that's very unfortunate, but it is the truth. The truth is the truth. There's nothing you can do about that. As long as you're not aiming, as long as your aim isn't to go out of your way to cause pain and misery with your words, then I think you'll be you'll be okay. That's all that I have to say for this chapter. I might do the other chapters maybe another time. I'm not sure if I'll do it next week, whatever, I don't know. I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful weekend. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. Bye.